Hi, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of the American in Germany, and today I'm tasting another German whiskey called the Eifel Whisky. Eifel is a region in the west of Germany on the border to Belgium. This is a single rye, 4-year-old, 50% ABV. The interesting thing about this is that it is actually over 90% rye. And so this was named by Jim Murray in his 2017 Whiskey Bible as the best rye in Europe. So he said one of the best ryes in Europe. 4 years old, a 350 milliliter bottle over here costs about 30 euros. So if you take a look at a whole bottle, that would be about 60 euros, about 68, $65. So this is distilled not directly in Koblenz, in where the Rhine and the Mosel come together, and that's where the Eifel begins, all the way over to Luxembourg and to Belgium. But rather, this is distilled at a different place called the Teelsasse Feinkornbrennerei. And this is what they make a schnapps in Germany, and they actually have big pot stills there. And so the boss, the owner of the Eifel Distillery, goes to the about 2.5 hours drive up to there. He lets his mash bill exactly according to his recommendations and requirements be made, and then he lets it be distilled, and he fills it up into his barrels. He brings it back to his warehouse, and so for the last 4 years it actually spent there in the Eifel. A little bit like Tin Cup. Is it a Colorado whiskey just because it was filled and also maybe aged in Colorado, or does it have to be actually distilled there as well? I'm not really sure. So this is about 90% rye and about 10% then malted barley. This is really good. For a German whiskey, I think this is one of the best German whiskeys I've ever had. Now, the interesting thing is it really doesn't smell like a rye. My favorite rye would be maybe the Lot 40 from Canada. I love this. I really enjoy the Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, even though the rye percentage here is not very high. An interesting other rye would be the Rye-Mageddon. The Rye-Mageddon from Corsair, also a very nice and interesting mixture there. So Artisan Distillery. So this, look at those legs. Aren't they it's just so slow, the way they just kind of go down. A very nice and decent color, by the way, as well. If you take a look at this for 4 years in the cask, it's not bad. And it really doesn't smell like a rye. And I've had over 25, maybe even up to 30 different ryes so far now, from Canada, from America, all over the States. And this is like a dark chocolate. Remember those chocolate covered cherries that you used to get from your grandmother? At least I used to get from my grandmother. Now imagine that chocolate covered cherry, almost liquid. It's very good. And this is German rye, by the way, from Bamberg in the southeast of Germany. Quiz question. Where is most of the rye in this world actually grown? Does anyone know? Write it down in the comments. It's Poland. It's not Canada. It's not America. I think number 2 or number 3 in the world is actually Germany. But hey, Poland is the place where the most rye is actually grown. They have the best climatic conditions for that. So let's try this. Very good. That chocolate covered cherry and dark chocolate covered cherry is really what I get on my nose. 50%. So I'm going to take a little sip, and then I'm going to put a little bit of water in here. Very nice. Oh, wow. At the end, it just kind of increases that flavor. Now, I'd like to change one little thing about the nose in my mouth. It's got that warm It's almost like that. What is it? The Kentucky Hug? That's good. It's no longer a dark chocolate with a cherry around it, or a dark chocolate around the cherry, but rather like a plum. Take some plum jam, put dark chocolate around it, a little bit of sugar in there. That's really good. I'm going to give this a B. And for a German whiskey, I think that's the first time I've ever given a solid B. Put a little bit of water in here, take it down to about 44, 45%. It just opens up a little bit in the nose. It's a little bit softer. The wood comes through a little bit more. Ooh. I even get a little bit like a mahogany on there. Very, very nice. And now one last sip. That's some good stuff for Germany. Wow. So, I don't know if you can ever find the single rye from the Eifel Distillery, Eifel Whisky single rye. There's now actually a 5-year-old as well as the 4-year-old. Both are the 50% ABV, so 100 proof. Very, very nice stuff. I can highly recommend it. I'm going to give it actually a C for the value for money. I just bought actually the bottle of the 5-year-old. I only had a sample here, so I might actually taste that. Unfortunately, I was a little bit too greedy. Now I can't do a side-by-side taste test, but that's the way it is. But this is very, very nice. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Rare and exotic. And I post my videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Like, subscribe, tell others about this guy, tasting things you'll probably never see or at least never get the chance to taste. All right. See you then. Bye-bye.